I saw this story from the Daily Mail. Woman, 37, candidly admits that she no longer recognizes herself in the mirror, revealing how weird aging phenomenon has left her struggling with her appearance as thousands admit they've had the same issue. Texas woman Natalie Thomas shared her experience with aging at 37 years old. The marketing consultant said she was really struggling to recognize herself. Thousands praised her TikTok, saying they were going through the same thing. You know, at first, I kind of laughed. I'm like, so some woman is getting old and taking pictures of herself, and she's like, I don't recognize myself anymore. And I'm like, lady, you're getting old. It happens to everybody. And then I thought about it. And actually, I really thought about it. And I thought to myself, you know what this is a remnant of? This, or I should say this is caused by? Older people, they did not have the absurd amounts of photos and videos of themselves. And that's a crazy thing. I think back to like my parents showing me old photo albums, and it's like, here's 50 photographs from my life. I'm like, 50? Wow. When I'm a kid, I'm looking through these photos and I'm like, that's what you looked like when you were young, crazy. And they're like, I know, right? And you look back on these old photos of yourself and you're like, man, I looked very different. There's like YouTube videos of me from 10 years ago. And I'm like, I weighed 160 pounds. I weigh 170 now. I don't know. You just get older. You fill out, I guess. I've been eating better. I've been losing weight but kind of like stable around here, 170-ish. Went a little under, but I don't know. I think I don't know. Just happens, I guess. You get fat when you get old. I started eating better, lost a lot of weight. But you look different. And I look very different. I'm like, wow, man. I was like kind of gaunt. When I was 18, I was really gaunt. I was barely eating. But here's the deal now with what's happening to us. We have access to videos of ourselves from basically every single day. I mean, get this. You could go through my video library. This is the crazy thing. Check this out. I make videos every single day, except for the weekends. You could, it'd be an arduous process. In fact, maybe I should hire someone to do this. Make a video montage of me going back 5 years and probably further, but 5 years is the easy one. Because I put out videos every single day, you could take, let me put it this way. You ever see those videos where they're like, I took a picture of myself every day for 10 years, and then you see them like slowly changing? I've recorded a video of myself every day for the past 7 years. That's crazy. Maybe not 7, because it was like the end of 2016. I started making more content. It was like weekly. 2017 went daily. So you could take a picture of me from every day. So this is 7 years. We're talking a few thousand videos to go through. And then you can make the evolution of Tim Pool. You'll see my beard grow out. You'll see me get fatter and shrinker, but it's fatter and then smaller, shrinker, thinner. Several times, actually, like, but it's a crazy thing. And then what happens to a person like this is she one day looks in the mirror, she looks at a photo of herself on her profile, and then she looks at the mirror and she's like, that's me? It was an interesting thing that, I was looking at I can't remember I had a photo on my Facebook profile or whatever, and I forgot about it because I just like upload it and I just don't care. And then I saw some dude on Twitter, and everyone was talking about how his Twitter profile pic was like 10 years old and he was much fatter and balder, and they were like, nice try. And then I was like, it's like, I never actually looked at and so I went and looked at the profile picture, and it was from like 5 years ago. And I was like, I just never cared to change it. But think about what that means. It means the average person who's just now experiencing you for the first time is seeing a photo from a long time ago. You didn't realize. I was like, I better update my photos. Then I did. And then, at some point I was like, I better lose weight. I mean, it wasn't so much that. It was like I started just cutting out the sugars, and then weight started just coming off. And so then I lost 30 pounds. And then I'm like, okay, maybe I should just be healthier. But now it's like someone sent me a video making a reference to a point I made in the past from like 2020, and I'm much, much bigger. At the end of 2020, I started cutting out the sugars, got a lot thinner. Probably will end up losing like 10 more pounds in the next year or so because of the way I've been eating. It's like I don't eat anything. I have a cup of coffee with cream in it and then have a light dinner. It depends though. It's like if we keep doing these parties, man, eating these. You ever go to BJ's Brew House? Everybody loves BJ's, and they have this thing called the Pizookie. That thing has been causing me problems because I'm supposed to not be eating sugar, but it's like you got a baked cookie with ice cream all over it, and they put the Oreo cream. Yikes! Yeah, but I'll knock that off. Anyway, let me read a little bit. Let's give you some context. She talks about, she's quote, "It's this just really weird phenomenon that happens when you don't recognize yourself and you're trying to look like you always have, and not in an age way, but just in recognizing yourself. So I'll do my eyebrows and I'm like, well, that didn't do it. Okay, maybe I need just more concealer. And then that doesn't do it. And then you realize you've lost volume in your face. Natalie turns 30 on Friday, goes on to say that her features have also hollowed. All these things have changed that makeup can't change. I guess plastic surgery or like augmentation injections can maybe fix it, but it's just odd to see yourself in the mirror or on camera and not be able to find it and having to become okay with this new person. Like, I swear, it's just like one day you're like, oh, I look like this. And then you wake up and you're like, oh, I don't look like that. I look older and more tired. Yeah. She said, it really hits me when my phone shows me old pics. I think I look fine. And then I see old pics and I'm like, damn, that's gone. So I'll say this. For one, yo, you're aging. Aging happens. That's the weirdest thing to me. People who desperately want to look younger. I'm just like, look, I'm starting to get white right here, whatever. And some guy commented on IRL. He's like, Tim, get rid of those white beard hairs or something like that. And I'm like, bro, I just don't care. I've had people say the real argument for getting that just for men stuff to make your beard look like one color is because sometimes it looks like you just have food or garbage in your beard unless you do. And I'm like, actually, a fair point. You have like one weird white hair and someone's like, you got something here. And you're like, nah, I'm going gray. Your hair's changing colors. But for me, I just never really cared. I've had people be like, Tim, fix your teeth. You have money. And I'm like, I don't know if I care about my crooked teeth and weird, I have a genetically missing tooth. I don't know if I care to actually go and spend $100,000 to change that. I just don't care. You know, I don't know. I wear the beanie all the time, but that's just kind of like a skate thing. Have any skateboarder over there wearing beanies. But anyway, here's my point. This lady says it really hits me when I look at old pics on my phone. And it's like, how many of you don't do that thing? Like, okay, like most people aren't taking pictures of themselves every day for one of these YouTube videos. But you probably can go on your phone and start going back in time and looking at yourself de-aging. Go to your phone, because you probably have, at this point, your phone backs up all your photos. You could have 10 years of photos. You go all the way back and you go, whoa, what did I look like? How did this happen? Is that me? Then you look in the mirror and you're like, oh, what have I become? That's reality, man. I wonder if it's more impactful for women. Like the reason I don't really care is I'm a dude. And I wonder if it's more impactful for women because looks are a large component of their experience. Like you have women do makeup. They do their guys wake up greasy as garbage, slap on a shirt and a hat and say, good to go. Like I know dudes who'd wake up and just shuffle out of bed, throw in a baggy shirt, brush their teeth all ready. And I'm like, you smell bad. And they're like, don't care. And I'd be like, huh. Women don't do that. I mean, some women do, don't get me wrong, but it's like a tendency not to do that. One woman said, totally experiencing this at 34. It's very surreal. Not just my face, but my body is different, hair, etc. Yep, hair texture, my arm skin is more stretchy. It's all new and weird to me. How? Haven't you like been in your body every day? Did you like go to sleep for 7 months and then wake up Rip Van Winkle style and be like, whoa, I'm old now? Like, don't you live in your body every day? These changes are going with you. Ashley says, I'm 36 and just starting to experience this myself. Something that has helped is to explore new ways of doing makeup. OMG, yes. Thanks for sharing. I've been going through this at 32 to 34. I don't recognize myself, and I've been grieving my younger self, the beauty I resented. Isn't this what people call like the wall? I'm 34 and the pandemic aged me. Being stuck and locked on my apartment in my apartment, I never aged at all before then. Bro, you're 34. It's been 3 years. Of course you're aging. Maybe this is it. Maybe what's really happening is these women have their whole lives thought they would be young forever. And it's like, yo, you get old. Women have half the collagen in their skin as men. They have less muscle mass, less bone density. So the saying goes, and I'm not trying to be a dick, men age like wine and women age like milk. That's a saying. And I know a lot of people may say like, how dare you say such a thing? And I'm like, no, it's a little crass. Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't agree with saying things like that way. But in terms of how the average person views attractiveness, I mean, this is why the saying exists. Because whether you want to accept it or not, whether you think it's mean or not, people legitimately feel that way. So I might say, guys, little crass, don't phrase things that way. It doesn't change the fact that people think it. You can try and cover this stuff up. As guys get older, they get rugged, chiseled, and there's societal perceived value in that. As women get older, their skin gets looser, they get wrinkles, and there's less societal value in that. This is a reality of human existence. So maybe what we're really just seeing is that a normal experience women go through, millennials who use the internet are now being like, whoa, I'm aging, what's happening? And two things. One, the older generation didn't have access to millions of photos of themselves from their whole lives. And also, they didn't have social media to post on when they noticed gray in their beard or wrinkles on their skin or crow's feet or whatever. They had no one to complain to about it, so they didn't. Now people do, so they're going, I'm aging, what's happening? Welcome to being a human, I guess. Eventually, it'll be hard for you to walk, keep exercising, eat right. Otherwise, one day you'll find yourself in a wheelchair. It happens to people. You know what I think about? And I want you to think about this. Two things. I like to walk around and, or I should say, I like when I'm visiting places and I see something old and dilapidated. I like to imagine what it was like when it was brand new. An old building falling apart. And I think to myself, when the building was first built and there's a young couple smiling and holding hands, their first house, the newest, shiniest house. Today I look at it and it's just falling apart. I like to imagine what that must be like. I was in Ukraine and I saw all these old cars. And I'm like, what must it have been like when that car was brand new, fresh off the lot? And some guy was just like, oh boy. And now it's a junker. Now it's someone's trash. It's crazy how that happens. It's sad, right? Now think about people. I remember, well, I shouldn't say I remember, but I'm seeing a guy at the casino and he's got a cane and he's walking very, very slow. And I'm like, this guy's got to be 70, right? 40 years ago, he was 30 years old. What was he doing? Was he like wearing suspenders and pants pulled up real high, carrying a briefcase with a fedora? I mean, 40 years ago was the 80s, so maybe he was wearing neon hot pants or something, rollerblading around. And that's crazy to think, isn't it? Some dude, you watch an old video from the 80s, slick suspenders guy or hot pants rollerblades guy. Now it's old guy struggling to walk. And I think to myself when I see that old person, what were they like when they were younger? You know? It happens, man. I'll leave it there. Next segment's coming up at 8 p.m. over at youtube.com/TimCastIRL. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all then.